Sounds good. So we are at, what is this place called? By the way, what do you call this place to you?
This is the shop.
The shop.
The shop to me.
So this is the shop where
undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Where Nova,
from
Obnoxious Customs, creates these masterpieces. What I like to call. He likes to.
I think they're junk.
He keeps calling them junk. I think they're works of art. And we're closer we get into this video, the more we're gonna see that. And you've probably seen some of the videos that I've had of Nova. So we met randomly at this parking lot, which is called the Harmar parking lot.
Yeah.
And usually it's like during back to the 50s here in Minnesota or
Street Machine
Nationals.
There's a few others, yeah.
And there's like a few folks who every single year show up. We don't even know, we didn't have each other's phone numbers or anything, but we just know we're going to be there.
Just know.
And that's been me and Nova for the past couple of years at least.
Yeah.
And then we finally just started hanging out more. And, I just love his machines. And every time I post one of his machines, it goes crazy on Instagram or YouTube. I think the one that I just posted from us on the lake was at like 3 million or something crazy views. I don't know what platform, but it was crazy. But anyways, Nova's super talented. To him, again, he thinks this is junk, but there's that famous saying, one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you look at these machines, and you're building these for people, right?
Yeah.
So
anybody can hit me up on Instagram. I build them or I'll fix them. I work on them.
Yep.
I'll do whatever.
The one that was interesting there's two that were interesting. One was this chopper. Now, everybody online has been asking me, what the heck is this? Especially on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what to say at first, but you told me and you're replying to people, Reaper Mini Chopper, right?
Yeah. So I don't know the exact dates they were made, but they were a short produced chopper in Canada. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
They're pretty hard to get a hold of. They are cool. Even when they're stock, they're cool. There's a lot of purists out there that don't like what I did to this one. I, chopped the fender off and made it all rusty and put a bunch of stuff on it. But they are a really cool frame. They're fun to ride. They're sturdy. But yeah, they hold their value. I mean, I just sold one, just a frame for, I think, $600.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
It's nothing to it. It didn't even have wheels, so it's like they're pretty cool to mess with. So.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
they are a Reaper chopper.
I think every time I've seen you on this one is doing burnouts.
It does a decent burnout for a mini bike.
And if you haven't seen the burnout on this one, make sure you guys check out the Instagram or the YouTube. I think so. This one's pretty cool.
I think they're on both.
So this one. What's different about this one? I mean, you said the purists are gonna hate it, but
because it's rusty. Usually it's got there's a full fender that cups around the tire, and it's all nice, and they usually have nice paint, and I took all that stuff off. I mean, I like nice stuff, but I like rusty stuff a lot more.
I see that's the kind of the theme.
That is the theme. License plates everywhere.
Trust you're up on your tetanus shots.
Yep.
And anything with the motor on this one that's different than the one it came with, or
it is. The stock one is like, I want to say 6.5 horse. And it has a 70 rear tooth sprocket. So when I got this, it did like 25 miles an hour. Put a Tillotson 212, but it's stage 2. It's got a 60 rear sprocket and I think a 10 front, and it does high like 56 I've done, which you can get a lot more out of it. If I were to gear it, it'll pull a lot more, but it's just fun to drive around. It doesn't get ridden much anymore, which I'm fine with. I like building them more than I like riding them. But this one's got me in a lot of trouble. I'm kind of thin ice, so we just park it.
Yeah. All right. The other one that I'm familiar with, but I know it's had some changes since last summer, is this diesel go-kart here. And I forgot what you call this one.
I call it Little Red.
Little Red, right.
Because that's where it started from, this Little Red wagon, and it just kind of all went from there.
Yep. And I think this one, you've added a special feature to it over the fall.
Yeah, it's got some horsepower enhancements. I put a little small supercharger off of, I think it's for like a Beetle or a Volkswagen Beetle or something, but it seems to work. I think it's like a 550 something or other blower, but I got it off of Amazon cheap, threw it on. It pulls about 25 pounds of boost. So once I figure out how to turn the fuel up on this, it will make some power.
Heck yeah. I remember riding this one. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
I just love how you have all of the, look at all the, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but
yeah, there's so many moving parts. Everything's got something going on to do something.
Yes.
And for everybody that says the exhaust placement, you don't get it in the face. Everybody's always saying something about the exhaust.
Yeah.
You don't smell it.
Yeah.
You don't.
There's everybody in the comments. It's like just nonstop. Like, hey, you should move that exhaust.
Yeah,
up a
I
couple
like it
inches.
there.
We're
It
like,
looks
dude.
cool there. Yeah, no.
So if you're watching this, yes, we know what you're gonna say. We've heard it.
And yep, the nitrous is not nitrous.
Oh,
it is propane. It's not hooked up yet, but supposedly propane does the same thing for diesels as nitrous does for gas.
Okay.
So once I get that hooked up, that was the whole thing because I couldn't figure out how to turn the fuel up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can give it enough fuel with the propane. So if I can get the right injection and all that stuff figured out, then we can get everything running good.
So what's the unique? So I see you got the way the chain's set up here.
Yep. Yeah, when I first put it together, I sat on it and the chain come right along here and it was cutting into my pants. So I just added sprockets, dipped the chain down, make it run along the body, and just kind of made everything work around everything.
In the Coors Light handle, that's for the brake?
That is the brake. Everybody thinks it's the clutch, but there are no clutch on these because they're all centrifugal. So they just activate with RPM.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's the brake. It runs and grabs the little band around the clutch and stops you.
Okay. Let's check out that mechanism there. And then what's the motor out of? Is this another one of the...
It was off of Amazon. It was a gift to me. Buddy that I know from cars, he's like, you do some cool stuff. You got to try something with diesel. I was like, I don't really know much about diesel. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of doing stuff I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, I like to stick with what I know.
Sure.
And he goes, well, I'm going to buy it for you. So he went on Amazon. It's like a $250 diesel. It's 10 horse. And yeah, it showed up at the house. And I think in the weekend, I got a frame built for it, threw the motor on it. I got a few pictures on my Instagram of that. And yeah, no, it's what it is. And it'll probably keep changing. You know, everything keeps changing. Everything's always adding on to something. Like this one, we get a supercharger soon. Okay. That's the next thing. I'm kind of getting bored of it.
This one, I really liked how it drove.
It is very comfortable. It turns well, stops well. This was, I want to say it's the first, but it wasn't the first. That trike was the first. But this was probably my favorite at the time when I did it. It was pretty cool. It was comfortable to ride. You could ride forever on it. But yeah, it needs some power additives. It's kind of slow. And it's just not as cool as I want it to be. So
check this. It's the radiator.
It's a fake radiator.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, everything's air cooled.
Everything's air cooled.
But it's like it looked goofy without a radiator. Yeah. So it's
what's crazy now. I'm looking at the back of the red wagon.
Yeah.
What's it called? Red.
Little red.
Little red.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the back of it now, going, oh yeah.
Yep.
It is. Okay. Air cooled.
Yeah. Everything's air cooled.
I like the way you have that. So when you're putting this together, is it just like, all right, I'm just gonna try to make it work somehow?
Yeah.
Or
yeah. There's no like rule book or a process or a plan. You just throw it together. If it don't work like this, doesn't really work. I've broken this setup 100 times. So it's kind of limping by right now. When I get some time, I'll go through and redo it how it needs to be done. I know how to fix it now, but it was more of an experiment.
For sure. And I think that's why they look so cool to me, is because you're looking through it and you'll go, it doesn't like you're trying to figure out how it works.
What's the process?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like this back axle, it's probably the 7th axle it's had in it because it keeps bending them. So I added a little brace on this side. Let's hope it works. We'll see. Okay. But yeah.
I just love how you put all the steering wheels together, the shifters. I mean, this one's an axe.
Yep.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yep.
You got the brake reservoirs.
Yeah, whatever's lying around usually goes on these. That corner right there with all that metal, that's where all these came from, that corner. Oh, wow. That's where they started from.
That's awesome.
All these frames, it's scrap metal.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Yeah, I love driving this one on the lake.
Yep.
Oh, man, it's so much fun.
I saw those pokey tire guys out on the lake, and I'm going to build one for the ice because they're fun.
Definitely. Let me know when you're going out there.
Yeah.
This one I saw you pull off the truck just when we got here.
Yep.
This looks like those little 3-wheelers I had when I was a kid, and just looks like so much fun. What is that seat off of? Like an old tractor? Or?
Yeah, it's off an old tractor. I got it off of Facebook somewhere out in somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it fits the look, and
Yes.
it's comfortable to ride this one too. It doesn't get ridden all that much, but it's I take it to all the shows I go to.
Okay.
I got a trailer made. It pulls that around.
Nice.
But yeah, frames from a Chevy Camaro, small block 350.
The frame?
The frame. These are small block headers. These are headers.
Okay.
That's the only thing that the frame is are headers off of a Camaro.
You know what? I was thinking that was like an actual exhaust, but now that you pointed it out,
That's what everybody thinks. They go, "Aren't you gonna burn yourself?"
Yeah.
Like, no, that's the exhaust. That's the frame. Yep. So they're small block headers. I bolted and welded together, and then just welded some forks on, put an axle on it, threw a motor in it.
This is cool.
And it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's cool. What's that forks? Where are the forks off of?
These are off a Baja Warrior.
Okay.
Kind of a popular mini bike.
Yeah.
And I just had parts lying around, so I welded them on there, and they work. Made my own little front brake. You couldn't get front brakes for this at the time. Mm-hmm. So I took a rear wheel and then made a bracket and made front brakes on it. So
that's so cool, man. What is that, like a drum brake or disc?
Yeah, it's a drum
brake. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
I hope this is coming through clear on the camera for folks. This is a crazy build. And then I always like the way you do your shifters. Or your brake. Is this the brake again?
Yep, that is the brake.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the same system as that one. It's got a band brake that goes around the clutch.
Yeah.
And grabs onto there.
So I know. Oh, go ahead.
Well, the whole thing with the shifters is like in the car scene, there's rat fink. And in like all the photos and pictures, there's some goblin or monster, and he's got his arm out the roof grabbing the shifter. So that's kind of the whole theme, a big tall shifter or a brake. That's awesome. That's the idea.
I see these little green characters on all the tire plugs. Is that what the character is?
That's rat. Yeah.
Let me see if there's
should be one somewhere. Oh shoot. Yeah, here we go. We'll pull this one off.
Oh, okay. That's rat fink.
That is the character.
Let's take a look at
that. Everything's kind of based around the whole idea, the logo that I got.
Yeah.
That I made up is kind of a rat fink stuff.
I think we talked about everything except for.
Well, we haven't talked about either of these two bikes.
Yeah.
This one's pretty new.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
It was just
this looks like a more of like a what I see online, like when I see like mini bike builds.
Yeah.
Not with your aesthetic on it.
Yeah.
But just like, they're all painted up and whatever, brand new looking, whatever. But yeah, this one looks pretty sick. That tire in the back. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one was another freebie. The frame was just kind of a junk frame. So I lowered it, stretched it, threw the big wheel on the back. I wanted something different for the handlebars. Went to Menards, got some gas piping, welded that up. So those are the bars. This one's got a 3-horse diesel.
Hold on, I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it.
Yep, those are all 1-inch gas pipe for the bars.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a little 3-horse diesel. Rolls cold too. Like pretty good.
Okay.
Just tried to make something little, like when I go to the races and stuff, I got a little pit bike take around.
Yeah. So is that one of your t-shirts?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I wanted something to throw on the seat, so I just cut up a t-shirt and threw it on there.
What did you use for the seat? Like, was it something you had already?
It was the seat that came off of it.
Okay.
But it was too nice. So we had to make it nasty.
Yeah, right.
That's the point.
I like that number one. So I noticed you got some kind of like character, either like a license plate or some kind of beer or whatever on these things, which I really like. And I like this one, the Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Number one.
Go Power Sports.
Yeah.
They are, I'd say, the biggest like mini bike and go-kart parts people to get parts from.
Okay.
They're down in Texas.
Okay.
And I took all these down to a show that they did down in Texas. And that was pretty fun, but that's their sticker. So I just put it on. Took a grinder and some, oil, tried to make it look old.
Yeah.
And, it kind of fits.
What is this thing here? Is that the gas tank? Or what is
that? That is a overflow. So it's the breather for the valve cover. Mm-hmm. I got the RPMs turned up, so sometimes you'll get blow by through the valve cover. Yeah. So it just, whatever oil comes out goes into there.
Sick.
Same thing with the brake lever on this. Kind of the whole rat style.
Oh, nice.
Pull backwards, it runs around and grabs it. It's an old piston out of one of these motors.
That's to the brake?
Yep, that's the brake. It's got a suicide style brake. It's a little sketchy.
I was like, okay.
But that's the point.
That's cool. I like that. And then that fender, I like how you use the license plates and the dice on the wheels. It's so awesome, bro. What's that? The intake for the red? Is that the?
Yeah, that's the intake. Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. And that's the gas tank.
Yep.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Not very fast, but fun.
It's all right, man. I mean, fast is cool, but you know, fun is more important. Where you're gonna have,
Yeah, anytime. It is just a hobby, but anytime I take them out, it doesn't. It's a blast.
Yeah, for sure, man.
It's a
I know you
blast.
enjoy it because the video that we had mounted to, I think it was
this one.
This one,
Yeah.
I just saw the
No, I was having
comments.
so much fun.
Me
out
too,
there.
bro. I felt like we were just like two. I think I named the video like two man children on a lake. But this one is 2 motors.
Yep. This one was it was to prove to myself that I could do what I wanted, I guess. Like if I had an idea, I can make it work. So that's kind of what it was. I was like, see if we can make 2 motors work together. And that's what we did. It's a Doodlebug frame, cut it in half, stretched it 12 inches, lowered it, I think 4 inches, threw 2 motors on it, and got all the clutching to work together. And
was that pretty hard to do with the?
It really was pretty easy because Go Power Sports, they sell a clutch that has 2 teeth on it. So this front motor goes to one set of teeth. The back motor runs off the other set of teeth, goes straight to the back. It works out good. It's very smooth.
I like the kickstand and the footrests on your bikes. There's something always unique, right?
Yep, there always is something different.
Yeah. Is this so the Doodlebug? Is it Go Power Sports? Do they make that stuff or?
I don't know who makes the Doodlebug. It's an older, I want to say like 90s mini bike.
Okay.
They're pretty popular. They're everywhere. You can get them on Marketplace.
Yeah.
And funny, this exact frame was the first mini bike I've ever bought. And when I started doing custom stuff, I turned it into a trike. Well, we all know that short wheelbase trikes aren't safe. So I finished building it. I didn't know how to weld, didn't know how to do anything at that time. So I took it out, no brakes. I was doing like 40 and a guy pulled out. I go to turn, rolled, tore my arm up. This got all bent up. So I sold it. And like 2 years later, I saw it again, bought it because I was like, I got to have it back. So then I cut the rear axle off and did this to it. So it's kind of got a funny story.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah, man. They don't, getting out on the streets can be rough.
Yeah, skateboard seat's rough.
I just
not comfortable.
I just meant just crashing in general.
Oh yeah, that was bad. It hurt. I laid on the ground for a while.
Yeah.
But got back up, drove it home.
I like how it says too fast for you on that one. That's awesome. Disc brakes.
Yeah.
Would there ever be a situation where like, one motor's not working, could you still ride it with the other, or does it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. If one dies, they work separately, and
okay.
You can still drive it on one.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. And then what goes into like picking out the license plates for the fender, or just any of those little details? Like I know you got some old school Minnesota like Schmidt Brewery beer stuff. Like, is it just what you have lying around?
It's kind of what I got lying around. Like when I go to the car shows, I go to the swap meets. I love swap meets. So anything that I think I can use, I buy.
Okay.
Like that wheelbarrow over there.
Yeah.
I saw that sitting in some guy's backyard, and I was like, "You gonna do anything with it?" Yeah. He was like, "No, you can have it." So I took the wheelbarrow, and now it's kind of turned its thing, turned into this.
So tell me about this one. I think this is the one you said it was still a work in progress, but it was the V twin.
Yeah, this is a 670 V twin. I think they're like 22 horse. Sounds super cool. I'm gonna do gas pipe exhaust like I did on the handlebars, just kind of something ratty, something make it twist and curl all around. And
I feel like this one's gonna handle well.
Yeah, I think it will. It's got a really good turning radius. There's a lot of weight on the front tires. We'll see. I don't really know. I never know until it's done what it's gonna do, and if there's an issue, then I fix it.
Sure. So where does the motor out of, or do you know?
It can really go on anything. They use them a lot in like lawnmowers and splitters and stuff like that. I bought it new from Harbor Freight.
Oh, it's the Predator. So Harbor. Anytime we see Predator, that's
Harbor Freight,
right?
Yep.
Okay. So 670 cc.
670 cc.
Jeez.
Yep.
Okay, this is gonna push.
It's not the same like cc displacement as like, let's say you got a 600 motorcycle.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool.
I had a FZ07, which was a 700 or a 600 something parallel twin. So this will probably have more torque, right? then
I don't even know.
You know?
I don't really know.
We'll see.
I don't know much about them. This is the first one I've ever gotten. I've always wanted one, and I figured I think it would look super cool on this, so I picked one up. And then this was another gift. They don't come with these little top hats. This is off of I want to say a Harley.
Okay.
Sits on the side of the carb, and it's air actuated for the flutter, but I rigged it up manually, so when you hit the gas,
Oh yeah,
you'll get that to open, kind of the dragster look.
that's awesome. So remind me what these copper coils are for? Is that the cooling?
That's going to be for the fuel lines.
fuel line. Oh, okay.
I like a lot of the rat ride guys do copper, and I like the copper look. So
It matches well with the rest of the.
yeah. And I got this old fuel bowl. It's a sediment bowl that they used to use before fuel filters. So you'd come out, you'd spin this off, dump it out, put it back in, and that was your fuel filter.
Interesting.
So I think it fit on there cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's straight axle like the gasser style. Got the leaf spring front.
I can see it's going up like the gasser, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of gassers. So
the reason I know what a gasser is because I met you and you're like, that's a gasser. It's a gasser. I'm like quizzing me now, like, is that a gasser? Yep.
No, they're cool. It's a cool era.
Where do you even get the tires from? Just is it
front tires and rear front tires and rims and rear rims are from Go Power Sports.
Okay.
Pretty much
everything.
All the rims and tires are Go Power Sports.
So Go Power Sports. This is a sponsorship.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Nice. So you mentioned some shows that you go to, right? So
yeah.
What kind of shows? So you mentioned there was something in Texas and
yep. So Go Power Sports, and they're doing it again. I'm not going to go this year because I got some other stuff planned, but it's called the Pull Start Picnic. It's just it's a mini bike show basically, but they got drag, rat, micro, vintage, bunch of these different classes. You go in, you get judged on it, and you win a trophy.
Yeah.
So I went to that last year. Didn't bring a trophy home because the guy that was in the rat rod class, he's a cool guy. He built the full frame out of just chain. Welded it all together, and it was just solid chain. So obviously won by a landslide, but it was still cool to go.
For sure.
Another big show I'm going to this year. A lot of people have been telling me I need to go. It's Ratstock in Illinois.
Okay.
Biggest, or so I've heard, the biggest rat rod car show in the world. And it's a cool event. I've seen a lot of videos on it. They got a lot of cars, a lot of cool rat rods. And
when is it?
I don't know. It's, I think it's September 13th.
September, okay. So
in like Linden.
I'm going to try.
Linden, Illinois?
We'll see. I'll try to. I know you told me about it.
It'll be a cool event. Everything here is going to go. That's the plan. I got to build some trailers to pull the bikes around with the go-karts, and then we'll go there. Another one I'm super excited about, and it's a huge announcement for this year. I went to, they call it the Rusty Eyeball in Wilmer, Minnesota. It's kind of a small local car show, and I took a wagon and the wheelbarrow and 2 bikes, entered it into the judge show in the bike class. I didn't win, but it was a close second. And he goes, if you can get some people involved, we'll make a class.
Oh.
So now there's a go-kart mini bike class at the car show. They got custom trophies, probably the coolest trophies I've ever seen. There's a kid out there that makes them, and there's some cool trophies.
So your builds have essentially influenced
a little bit,
not a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But they're working with you to go, yeah, you get enough people involved in this. Let's make a class for it.
Yep. And it sounds like there will be some people that I've reached out to that are going to come out. So there'll be, these ones here, and then hopefully some other people.
That's really cool, man. That's what I like to see is like, I'm big into motorsports, right? But like the subcultures within each, all the motorsports. And, this is one of my favorites, but the fact that, they're open to that, right?
Yeah.
So
cars are awesome.
class.
I love cars. I don't want to take nothing away from cars and car shows. It's just, it's a hobby. It's a little side hobby, and it's fun to show them off every once in a while.
Sure.
And if there's a spot for it, I think it would do.
I mean, everybody's got their pit bikes and whatever at the track. Why not have something cool to show?
Yeah, when I bust Little Red out at the drag strip, this thing brings more attention than the cars running down the strip.
Yeah, everybody loves this one. And I think Little Red has the turning headlights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check those out.
That was the first time done that. I dig it.
Heck yeah.
I didn't think I'd like it, but I think it's pretty cool. The rebar steering is another controversy with that, and everybody's like with the chain steering.
Why is it controversial? Or just
everybody thinks it's brittle, it's gonna break. I mean, I don't know if it hasn't broken yet.
Yeah.
So, and if it breaks, I'll fix it. But I just like how it looks.
And is this license plate legit for this machine?
No, it's not.
Sorry, man.
It could be.
I'm just
It could be. I could.
I'm messing with
you. I could punch a VIN on this and make it legal.
I love the sticker that you got on this one. Certified dirty item.
Yeah,
that's awesome, bro. I love the little touches that you got.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, the more you find.
That's yes, exactly.
It's just constant. It's moving. Everything's always moving. There's always something to look at.
That's awesome.
And that's what I like about this style. Hopefully, we can start building a car here soon.
Okay.
That's the plan. Just got to find a spot to do it.
Awesome.
That's what's nice about these. Yeah. It's like I got a sign I put up when I'm at car shows. Like, yeah, you can sit on it. You can take pictures on it. Because it's cool to see, all the kids. The kids go nuts over these, which I think is pretty sweet.
I could tell even him, he's been itching to I told him, oh, you can't sit on anything. I don't know if you got your tetanus shot. I was like, but
yeah, you'll definitely need tetanus for sure.
You got your tetanus shot? What? You don't have your tetanus shot? You know what that is? Yep. I can't wait for Harmar this year.
Yep.
I know it's one of those things where it's like the same people show up, and there's like a core group of maybe of at least the people that I know, it's like a core group of 20, 30 people that show up every year. So that's where we'll probably meet up this year. We'll try to stay out of trouble, of course, as much as possible.
Yeah.
How that works out over there. But even if you can't ride them, how far is it from here? Technically,
it's really not that. It's really not that far. It's like seriously 7 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's all the police are directed towards that area.
Yeah,
so there's no police anywhere else except Snelling. So I'll leave right out of here, go down Dale, go down Larpenter, and then I'll just hit back roads.
He's just kidding, officers.
Yeah,
not going that way. Just kidding. No, because I see you guys roll up always, but I was like, it would just be cool to have it
Yeah, well, the other thing is I can always trail them to the parking to Cub and drive them over.
Yeah, because it's I think they said if the businesses, who's that guy that shows up every year? I forgot his name.
I don't know.
He's the VMAX.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he knows all the laws, so he's always arguing.
He makes me nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
No, the cop was just like, I'm gonna talk to you. I remember last night he was like, I'm gonna talk to you. But I think even having a show, bro, would be nice too. I think you could build your brand and all your stuff off. This would be dope too. Even if it's just pulling up there with all your stuff,
Yeah, no, I mean, I've gotten a few people that from there, they're like, oh, we saw your stuff at Harmar. Do you do stuff? And I've gotten a few jobs from it. So it's
nice. That's good.
I always try to make it out for sure.
That sounds good. And if I can do anything to help with the platform or pushing on an event or something that you want, always let me know.
Every time you post, I mean, followers go up by a couple hundred each time, so it's definitely working.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear it.
No, I appreciate that big time.
Sweet. If we don't mind, I just want to talk a little bit about that. You do snowmobile stuff too.
Yep, I do snowcross.
Yesterday you were at what was it?
Ditch Banger Nationals.
Ditch Banger Nationals. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest event in snowcross as far as turnout goes.
Yeah.
As far as race entries and spectators, it is huge.
Really?
Yep.
That is crazy.
And it's all old sleds. Back in the glory days when sleds were cool. It was fun to watch, fun to do.
Sure. Because I've been to snowcross over there, that Amsoil snowcross and all that. But this is bigger,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, my class alone had 100 entries.
Yeah.
The class before me had 130. The class after me had 100.
Okay.
Class after that had 100 entries. It's a big event.
I feel bad now. I should have went, but
it's cool racing. It's cool.
Well, I think we're gonna maybe save that one, snowmobile stuff. We should probably do another sit down on snowmobile stuff at some point.
Yeah.
So, I don't really know too much about it. I haven't tried it, but I appreciate your time.
Fun. Yep. Thanks for coming.
I'm glad I run into another motorhead.
Yeah.
I wish I was as creative as you, but I just enjoy looking at them. And
I'm not creative. Anybody can do this.
I don't think so.
Anybody can do this.
No.
As long as you can weld,
I don't think so.
All it is putting metal together.
As long as you can weld. That's the biggest,
that has nothing to do with creativity.
Well, look, the ability to weld will give you ideas of what.
Yeah, because you can put stuff together.
Exactly.
But if you can weld, you can do this.
Okay.
for sure. Because
You can weld.
it's just gluing metal together is all it is.
Yeah. All right.
Everything's just glued together.
But I'm still gonna stick to it. I like the way you have your gearing. There's interesting ways of having your gearing set up. The way what you choose for your frame. I mean, that one you're using an exhaust headers for the whole frame. Like I've never heard of that.
I like that. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. See, it's not creative. It's interesting.
Okay, whatever.
That's what it is.
Call it whatever.
Yeah, we'll call it interesting.
Yeah, this is art. I mean, like, where'd you even get that Coors Light handle? Like, I mean,
I think my mom gave that to me.
See, nobody's gonna like have that randomly sitting around. You know what I mean? So it's like you got cool stuff you put together. All right, so sounds good. So let's say I know you build these for people. Let's say somebody was trying to figure out where
to get one.
Yeah.
So if you wanted one, I'm on Instagram, Obnoxious Customs. It's on Instagram. It's got a green logo with a little dude on a bike or something.
Pretty much the one that's on the seat, right?
Yep.
All right.
That's the logo. And yeah, if you want one or want work done on one, I work on all of them. I build them, fix them. So yeah, if you want something, you can hit me up there.
Are there any shows you're going to that if people are watching this and that you're going to go to for sure that they might?
Yeah. So one for sure that's close will be it'll be the Wilmer Car Show, and don't quote me, but I want to say it's July 12th in Wilmer, Minnesota.
Okay.
It's called the Rusty Eyeball, and all these will be there, and maybe even some more if I get ambitious and build some other ones.
Sweet.